here on this November 1st, 2024. What's going on? Yeah, we got some crazy stuff to talk about here tonight. And want to give a shout out to everybody out there in the chat, everybody that shares the stream, everybody that's out there waiting on the shows and fights the fight. It's all the pure bloods. IB, thank you for the super chat right out the gate. Flip, checking in, thank you as well. Shout outs to all the pure bloods. Thank you for all the feedback out there. It's Quantum, Kathy, Deanne, hope you're feeling better. The judge with us, Troublesome, Raymond, all the mods, Hoodie, good to see everybody. Got plenty to discuss tonight, as you can see. We're just days away here from the election, and I've got a lot of stuff concerning that. And yes, got some stuff there on the demon attacks on Tucker. We'll talk about that, the gin, and a lot more here toward the end. I'm going to do as I normally do. Start off here on the lighter end, and then take off from there. I'm just going to start hammering away. Starting off in space, we had another X-class solar flare, but no CME. This 3878 is doing this quite often. It's pretty active, but not producing any CMEs. It's just kind of flaring up. And, well, that's good for us. I mean, for anyone wanting to see a light show, an aurora show, it's not good, but one of these days, it could set off a crippling series of events that could take down the power grid, like the Carrington event. Well, if you did not see any of the fireballs last night that a lot of people were talking about, you've got the next couple weeks to do so. If you're not aware, every year around this time, we go through the Taurid field. And these Taurid meteors go by. And this comes from Comet Inky. It's results of it shedding and shattering off parts of it throughout time. It's basically a big debris field. They also point to this debris field as potentially one of the reasons that we got struck one of many times in the past by asteroids or by space debris, because we're always going through it. And Jess, welcome to the underground. Just throwing it out there. Fireballs, if you got it clear skies at night, look up. You might catch one. There's a lot going on right now. Look at that aurora that came in. It was over Norway. They catch a lot of them. But also, let me look here real quick. I think we've got... Yes, we've got an object coming in closer than the moon tonight as well at 0.6 LD. So you can see these ones on the 30th, one hit or broke up in the atmosphere or impacted. You can see it there at 0 LD. Could have broke up either way. It was rather small. But, I mean, these things do come in and hit the planet. We've seen them hit a house in California just a year or so ago and damn near burn the house down. And in other places around the world. And not to mention, these things can be worth some money. So if you see one, fireball, meteorite, comes down your neck of the woods, if you can, retrieve it. You just never know what God's raining down from the heavens. It could be a big old chunk of platinum. They've seen it. All right. On the serious tip, we have, and thank you, Star Fury. We have Texas police searching for a possible suspect who wore a Michael Myers mask near a fatal shooting scene. And apparently he's on the run. So Authorities looking for the suspect that was seen by many people in Harris County, Texas. Deadly shooting occurred on Halloween around 11:15 p.m. Neighbors have told authorities before the shooting took place, a suspicious man in a Michael Myers mask was seen near the scene of the crime. The victim was identified as Eric Pate, who was found unresponsive in his garage with multiple gunshot wounds. So they're currently investigating whether the man in the mask was the shooter. They've yet to identify the shooter or the guy in the mask, and they could be one and the same. But I don't know, it just seems to me that sets the stage for an opportune time to kill someone right there. And to get away with it with a mask, just as the person did. It seems like this was definitely premeditated. To me, it does. And that they had it out for the certain individual, and they got him. So, this person's still on the run. Let's hope it doesn't continue and they catch the person, but that's what happened. The person could be anywhere right now across the country, and I doubt that they would still be wearing the mask. So it's really, they're going to have to come up with some more details on this one, but yeah, Texas police on the search for that individual. All right, here is a very suspicious incident. I put this underneath of America Under Attack. I can only fit so much in the title. I got so many things to cover and so many things to hit on here. This vehicle was set on fire underneath the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge, one that I used to travel over a lot. 471 bridge that goes into Cincinnati. It looks to have been positioned right under the bridge, and to where I haven't seen a car catch fire to this magnitude ever, I don't think. It got so huge. It's affected the bridge. It is compromised at this point. Gerardo, thank you in the super chat. Much love. You know, I'm going to play this video clip and let you guys see.
The shocking story that we all woke up to this morning, taking a look at time-lapse video here, showing you the moment that fire started at Thousand Hands Playground in Sawyer Point, right under the 471 Big Mac Bridge, about 3:30 this morning. Those flames growing big, thick, black smoke billowing for at least 11 minutes before emergency crews got there to help.
All right, so I want to give you a live look now at the bridge. This is from our Sky 5 drone. In the daylight here, you can see the charred parts of the bridge. We know that it took crews about 40 minutes to put out the fire at the playground underneath. And it took, of course, even longer to get other parts of that fire near the bridge under control so that they could put out those hot spots that continued through the morning. As of right now, still, of course, a lot of unanswered questions tonight. And thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palillo.
A busy day. I'm Mike Dardis, and we are leading the way with team coverage for you tonight. Our crews have you covered from the damage on the bridge to the traffic impact and a whole lot more.
But first tonight, we want to get an update.
Okay, and I'm just going to step in there. I wanted you guys to see that much of it. That's back when I had the cable and the news and could watch it in my hometown. These are the people that I was watching. It's crazy. This news team does a pretty good job of staying on top of things in the local area. I've crossed this bridge so many times myself, and the initial reports put out is that they feel like this is an attack. And there's more statements made on that as to whether, this was an attack of some sort, because this took place, as you've seen, under a bridge in a playground area where the car had to be positioned perfectly under there. And again, the blaze got so huge. I mean, it got like 3 or 4 stories high to have to hit that bridge and to burn it up that bad and to damage it. That's suspect to me. I've seen cars on fire, blow up, vehicles blowing up. I've seen all types of craziness, man, but I've never just seen a random car that catches on fire flare up like that? I mean, was the thing loaded with lithium batteries or what? I mean, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a lithium type of fire where it explodes that much. It could have been anything. It could have been anything. Electric cars, anything like that, you're right. Alls I know is that it's kind of suspect. And I'm not the only one who thinks it. A lot of other people as well. And just add it to the list of all these things that keep happening. I wanted to point it out. Share the video footage. Keep track of it. That bridge going to be out of commission until they fix everything. It is compromised. The fire did do damage to the metal and to the structure. So I'll update as I get more information, but these are the things that I'm watching, because here at any time I expect stuff like this to go to a whole new level, to ramp up and to just hit a whole new level. It's all going to be part of the chaos that they're bringing here. And I feel it's well timed with this election. It's all about to pop off. I mean, as you can see in the title, can't you feel it? Something big is coming, and on multiple different fronts. Multiple different fronts. All the stars are aligned for the big one to happen. I've even got like news in the Twitter feed here that is going to go out that in California, where they're doing all these street takeovers, the police are using high-tech equipment on them. And because of the street takeovers, they've attached all this technology to the street poles where people can't even see it or don't even realize what it is. And this isn't only capturing those people, it's capturing anyone in the region constantly. I mean, it's pretty crazy here. But they've got AI overseeing it now. And they're listening for tires like squealing. And that they associate that with these street meetups. And as soon as AI picks it up, it calls a police. Just imagine what else they can do. If it hears gunshots, it's going to call the police. If it hears this, if it hears that, if it hears somebody talking about a drug deal, it call the police. It could be listening to your conversation on the corner while you're waiting at the light, waiting to cross the street, anything. This tech is insane, and thank you, Uncommon. And thank you, 12-Pack, for those super chats. Just a heads up. If you guys see any of this up close and personal and get any pictures, any video of it, please let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I know in the bigger cities, inner cities, this is where you're going to find it. You're going to find tech that's spying on the people that you just don't see in other places. So if you're in LA or any other big city out there, it's got something suspect, let me know. Remember, if you go into NYC, if you go through that tunnel, there's these big metal things that you got to go through, that you drive in between just to go into the tunnel. And they're huge scanner type things. I covered it years and years ago. They've got, in some of these cities, crazy security stuff set up. All right, let's jump into the economics real quick. You know gold's been taken off. And thank you, Wesley. You know silver's primed to lift off. Platinum just surged. Aluminum and prices connected to it soaring. And they're expecting this to continue to rise. I'm going to say that all of the metals are in liftoff mode. They've got to catch up to gold at some point. If you didn't pay attention to the crypto world or anything like that, there's an old saying that when Bitcoin runs like it's been doing and runs, and it finally stops, all the alts got to catch up to it. That's just digital precious metals is all that's representing, because the real money is the precious metals. And I'm just wanting to point it out. This is where it's at, hitting a peak. I feel they're all going to lift off from here. Just one big crisis announcement, and you're going to see everything go through the roof. Kev Bar, thank you. And thank you for the comment. Much love, my brother. Cash is king. Well, gold's the real king. gold and silver, something you can hold in your hand. If you guys missed it, last night, the market shed a stupid amount of money late. Lori, thank you for the coffees. Stupid amount of money. So let me go over here real quick. I got to look. I just tweeted out, and this is huge. Remember, I just told you Warren Buffett got below the thing. We were spot on this, was we not? We was. We's on it. I've been telling you for weeks and weeks to watch out for Bank of America because of this money laundering crap, and it finally just happened. They came out and they said it. But Warren Buffett is behind the curtain. He can dump Citi. So who do you think was dumping? Dumping all these stocks. Well, guess who else is dumping? And people are like, why is he doing it now? Why is he doing it now? It's because it's that time. Something big is coming. Okay? Where's it at here? Well, I don't see it. Hold on 1 second. All right, now we're hearing that Washington Democrat Governor Jay Inslee has activated the National Guard to prepare for potential election-related violence, with the order extending beyond November 5th, the election, to address any civil unrest as needed. The National Guard being pulled up, okay? These are things I'm getting right now, breaking, coming in, okay? And this goes with all the economic stuff that I was telling you about right here. Jeff Bezos of Amazon just sold 16 million shares of Amazon. That is $3 billion. Even Chuck Costello's down here like, what? What is going on? Wonder why? Well, thank you, Jay. That's pretty interesting if you ask me. So we just caught Buffett sneakily dumping en masse. And you betcha the rest of the banks are going to be named here shortly. This is all timed out. Timing is everything. Now Bezos selling billions worth of stock. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know what else you're waiting for. This is everything we ever said. When the big dog's stepping into the shadows, cashing out big time, and they're trying to be slick about it. Well, Bezos wasn't. He just bold-faced did it there. But definitely Buffett was, because they're trying to avoid sparking any panic. If anyone has the eyes to see, oh my, it's going down. These guys don't make these types of moves for nothing. And these investors don't make these moves cashing out. They usually always reinvest, and reinvest large portions of their money somewhere. That's not happening. These guys are cashing out. I don't know what else to say. I feel like a stuck record. I've been telling you this forever. And now the big dogs are doing it. They're dumping. I told you get out of 401ks. Anybody listen to me? Anybody? You still stuck in it? Huh? Weekend's here now. Good luck getting it out for election. I told you months in advance. All this. Every bit of it. Okay? So, I just hope everybody listened. So, look. We're walking into a trap of traps. And the evidence is pointing that this thing's going to dump. Doesn't matter who gets in there. Now, I want to just clear some things up about this tariff stuff, because Trump's saying he wants to take this back to tariffs, do away with taxes, do all this stuff. But there's some things that people have to realize with all this. The tariffs worked 100 years ago when we were strong-arming everything, when the dollar was strengthened itself, and the United States was very productive. Okay? That's a huge thing in terms of this. Now, what's being pointed out is that right now, we're not productive at all. And this is not a good sign. And where we want to take it, and it's not just the United States. When you look around the globe, Japan's cracking financially. China, only ones that really seem to have been doing really good is Russia. And we stole all their money, right? And yet their economy is just doing awesome. Okay? See, now from 1790 up to 1962, the United States pursued high tariff policies under a program known as the American System, the UIB rules. Okay? The American System is what they dubbed this. It was created by George Washington's Secretary of Treasury, Alexander Hamilton. Okay? He proposed that in order to have a strong country, America needed to have a strong manufacturing base with jobs that taught skills and that offered income security. This is what we're lacking right now. This is what all the big dogs are pointing out. This is what Peter Schiff points out. He says Trump is trying to do this, but there's one problem. Our manufacturing is flat on its face. And he points to all these numbers, pulls the charts. They're all correct. It's all right. He's like, it's not there. It's not there to be done. Hey, man, thank you, Rob. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad you listened. Glad people out there listen. At least weather this storm. If you're sitting on the sidelines and you've got cash in your hand, you know what you can do? You can buy the dip on anything. So let this thing drop out. Sit on the sidelines and buy these dips. Because that's how this market works. The big crash, I don't know. There ain't no buying that dip. Well, I guess there is. If you got hands of steel. But depending on how bad it is, I'm going to stick with buying any precious metal pullbacks that we see. Anything. Whole market dumps like it did when they came out and they announced lockdowns. And everyone freaked out. And the whole market dumped. Never forget it. Bitcoin dumped all the way down to like 3,000 or 4,000. And look where it's at now. The next big event, things are going to move. Okay? And check this out. Trump's potential treasury pick vows on spending cuts. And this is partnered with Elon Musk. Remember, Elon just came out and said he was going to be the Department of Government Efficiency, the head of it. It spells Doge. Anyhow, he said live on stage out of their $6 trillion deficit, he was going to pull like $2 trillion out of it. Okay? And this is important to note because someone asked Elon or said to Elon, that means that the whole economy is going to take a hit and it's going to tank pretty hard. And then it's going to bounce back up and then find its footing somewhere. Elon said, yep, sounds about right. He admits, and it's right there in front of your face, that this whole market is about to dump. And this dude's in on it too. Spending cuts. When they pull this out, it's already begun if you ask me. We're watching the biggest guys in the game dumping their stocks right now. Like literally today. And it's a Friday. Didn't they always say beginning on a Friday? What's this say? The after Halloween economy could get spooky. Yep, either way it goes. Check this out. Look how rigged this is. The presidential election is held on November 5th. Okay? The very next day, the Fed is meeting to decide on more interest rate cuts. For those that don't pay attention to this or even care about interest rates or anything else, this is going to be crazy, depending on what they do. If the market's already dumping or whatever, this is them sitting in position right here to manipulate the market, right in front of your face. Because if it dumps hard, all they got to do is come out the next day and they're going to be like, oh, a rate cut of 0.25, whatever. And they're going to try to catch it from free fall by making these announcements. They're in position to do this literally the very next morning. The very next morning when the stock market's open, when they make this announcement that Kamala is your new leader or whatever, boy, it's going to dump to hell and back. But they could suspend it. They could keep it there. They could hold it, knowing everyone's watching it, and just wait until everyone just kind of turns around and walks the other way, and they dump it. Okay, now, Soul Foundry, thank you for the coffee. This says that we're in big trouble regardless of who wins. While Trump is more likely to reduce the size of the government, neither candidate seems likely to have a fully reversal plan here of the budget deficit. And no one can really do it in 4 years anyway. So they say we have a setup in place where Trump promising to eliminate the income tax and replace it with tariffs. And here it is. You cannot do that in a country that does not produce anything. And that's what Peter Schiff is saying right now. It's not like all these companies are going to start manufacturing in America. They can't, because they manufactured in America, the prices would be so high that they couldn't sell the product. That's why they left in the first place. And he's right. That's why they outsource it to China and all these other slave shops. Right? They left to stay competitive, they say, and if they come back under the current environment, they won't be. He's calling for massive deregulation. He sees a massive collapse coming, and what he's been saying the whole time is what I've been telling you too. You better be in gold and silver. I mean, he's the gold guy. Japan, faltering, and all this stuff. It's not just America. It's these other economies as well. You have to look at the rise of BRICS at the same time. This isn't good, man. So just know when Trump gets in there and he's saying, I'm hitting them with the tariff, I'm hitting them with the tariff, it's not going to work like it used to. I don't know how else to get that through to everybody, but everyone is just buying this hook, line, and sinker, thinking that tariffs are going to save the day. It's not. Just all the numbers are showing that it's hollow. I mean, you got to have manufacturing. First off, let's look at it. Let's pull it up and look at it. U.S. manufacturing survey hits a 16-month low. So that's where we're at currently, at a 16-month low on this in terms of manufacturing, which isn't good. Nothing's been good under the Biden regime. And Peter Schiff here says BRICS countries should turn to gold. That's what's going to happen. The whole thing's going to shift to gold. I told y'all, they're buying it for a reason. They're stacking the Federal Reserve banks with gold for a reason. And that's because it's the real money. It's the real money. And these fake dollars that we were born into believing is real money is not. And everyone's got a rude awakening coming. Because you've used cash dollars your whole life. These little worthless IOUs. Because they've been accepted everywhere. Now that the world is ditching them, it's, again, right on cue. This is going to cause economic chaos for the dollar, for everything. This election holds huge for this. I don't see how it doesn't just crash into the pits of hell if Kamala is called our president. It's rather bullish if Trump gets in there. But as he explains, even though it's bullish, that doesn't mean that it's great for everyone. Because you have to have fundamentals to hold everything up. It's all about the plan they're coming in with, right? And Trump's plan is all out tariffs. I've told you, and I've told you. Okay? So when these tariffs start to backfire and fail, and I'm calling it out and I'm pointing it out, saying we told you so, again, well, sometimes you just got to see the writing on the wall. Learn to watch the signs and just put it all, be able to see it before it happens. So China is weaponizing the supply chain. It's begun, man. I don't know what else to say. All these aspects. We are basically in a Cold War right now with them, minus them saying this. As long as they don't say that and use the words, the sheep, but just keep on going. They won't pay no attention to it. But China just weaponized the supply chain. They just sent America's largest drone company and supplier of unmanned aircraft to places around the world. It's been thrown into a supply chain crisis because China is barring it from sourcing parts from any Chinese supplier, which is where they get all the parts. Everybody does. So this is a wake-up call for American companies. As I was just saying, you got to start making something here. You got to start making it here. It's called friendshore or reshoring jobs and bringing them back home. That way we've got them, and in a situation like this, in an all-out war, which is where we're heading, they can't cut off the supplies. So they're citing the war in Ukraine, saying that you guys are using some of our parts to make these drones, and then you're bombing our ally in Ukraine. And I'm sure this got brought up by some military leaders at some point between Russia and China talking about this, and it's been brought to the forefront. So now, this is crazy. Skidio said that the sanctions by China are for selling drones to Taiwan and through Ukraine. So the direct connections to Taiwan, a Taiwan that China just surrounded multiple times in these drills. They predict at any moment it's just going to go live. They have them surrounded with all their military stuff. It's just going to go live. Plus, China came out of nowhere and started launching missiles like they're Kim Jong-un or something. Flexing. Like, we're in war. I'm telling you, we're in war. People look back like, where did it begin? Well, it's begun. It just isn't at the full hot phase yet. Nukes dropping, flying, but they're ready for that. Wait till I get to it. It's in the headlines tonight. Shout out to Beardo. Hit me up and was like, you see this? If they don't get their way, they're ready for the nuclear option. Just wait till I get to it. I called it. He's like, you called this on the show. You just called this on the show. North Korea, all the nukes. Sure enough, I'll get to it here in a minute. But this is all tied in together, man. I got the war stuff lined up here in the back, but the war, the politics, the economy, it's all tied in together, man. It all affects us big time. Look what China's doing, dude. They're doing something that's never been seen before. They're hemorrhaging the power within their country. A third of all billionaires gets wiped out. This is what the dragon will do when it clamps down. Oh, yeah. Remember, this is the same China that took the guns away from the people and then killed tens of millions. If you need a reminder. Okay? So, they're as Gestapo as it gets, as totalitarian as it gets. That's why I believe the world powers have selected them to advance on the world stage. They've shown Rothschild has had control in China, if you don't know, since the days of Mao. Just do your research, man. They control this whole game. And Xi Jinping was groomed by Henry Kissinger. If you think it's crazy, just do your research. One quick little search will bring you the results of boom, in your face. Peel your cap back. You'll see this whole thing as a stage. The leader of China, their emperor, is Western trained, groomed by our guys. Well, Kissinger and the crew. You're living in a world stage, man. That's why they call them theaters of war, literally. It's all about mauling as many humans as possible, killing and mass murdering, and the excuse is war. It's just an agreement the countries have, and I believe the United States and Russia have had this agreement ever since the end of World War II, because it took us to win it. It took both of us to win it. And when we won it, no one could compete. But you have to make money if you're a war machine. Russia's a war machine. The United States is a war machine. Both making military weapons, selling them around the world. They need war to make that money. I know you've heard it before. War's a racket. It sure is. But in the mix of it, innocent people getting chewed up and spit out. in the trenches of places like Ukraine and other places all around the globe. So, China, if they get control of the globe, what do you think they'll do? This is the China that can press a button and erase your money in your account in the blink of an eye. They have a crazy system there, a score system. Like if you leave your bike laying on the ground and not in a proper spot, you get dock points. Like if you get caught jaywalking on a camera, you get dock points. So many points, you're not allowed to leave the city. This is the type of control they want globally. That's why they're advancing the dragon, I'm telling you. But China, hemorrhaging a third of all the billionaires, crazy. Yeah, that's a massive move right there. Big moves are being made, not just in America and our markets, but globally, man, if you're watching. All right, I thought that this was interesting. I had to throw it out there. Barack Obama's daughter, Malia, ditches the last name. That's how embarrassing they're getting. She wants to become an actor, so she's going by the name Malia Ann. And just launched this whole new film project. They asked Obama about this, and he just kind of, he's a master at deflection. But he's like, kids can be stubborn and all this other stuff. He's like, they're going to figure out who you are anyway, which is true. Everybody knows it's her, but what he didn't touch on was the more obvious fact that she wants to separate herself from you. Like, that says a lot to me. It says a whole lot to me. Your own seed can't stand you and can't even stand the name you gave it. That's pretty crazy. Arma, thank you for the coffees. Much love. Yes, we're in the end game now. It's begun. I'm telling you, every person, every soul is different. JFK was the perfect example. RFK, guys that were born into a Camelot bloodline, had it made, never had to do nothing, never had to say nothing. Just keep their mouth shut, had it made. But they didn't. They realized the evil around them and started to call it out. When you see an awakening like this, man, it's a beautiful thing. And dear Lord, God in heaven, let Obama's daughters find you and find the righteous way inside and know that their father is a devil in the flesh. I think that she already knows. To be honest, of course she does. She's seen it all from the inside. Okay, Jimmy Kimmel. People are calling for his arrest. I can't wait to the day we see things like this. For these guys that went along with the establishment, with all their propaganda, there should be a sentence for it. It's treason. It's treason. And he's one of the worst out there. I mean, they've all done it. They all do it. And LB, thank you for the coffees. But he spread false information about voting times. And he did it on purpose, telling Americans to vote on the wrong days. And they're saying that this is illegal. And the more we're looking into it, it is. It is. He thought he'd be a smartass and tell everybody, you can just wait to vote for Trump Thursday and Friday. Or Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like, late. Where it won't count. And I was going to play the clip, but I'm not even going to play it because ABC and Kimmel and them, they'd be the ones to come and strike this video just for me playing a 2-second clip of it. You can go check it out yourself on the Gateway Pundit. It's a small clip, and I can't stand a piece of work anyway. But, yeah, I summed it up for you. He told everybody to go vote on the days after the election if you're voting for Trump. And I believe they should hit him with the criminal charges. Sure enough. It's that time where the political ads are everywhere and the fake news and all this stuff being pushed. And, of course, they pulled AOC and others out of the closet or out of the dungeon. Like, look, we need you to come out here and do this or that. Well, Do you know that she is on camera saying that she believed that she was going to get killed on January 6th? And if they would have got in that build, if they would have got to her, that she believed she would have been raped. She says it all on camera. I'm like, man, that's ridiculous. Here's a clip of her acting like she's being hauled off here in handcuffs, but she's faking it. She's just holding her hands behind her back. I mean, who does that? And then once somebody does something, she yells and pumps her fist up in the air, and you can tell she's not cuffed. That's how fake it all is. That's how fake it is. Oh my gosh. It's just, it's pathetic. Anyhow, it's that time. They're up to their old tricks. And you might have heard, if you didn't, Joe Biden, from wherever he's hiding, had made an announcement that the people supporting Trump are garbage. That's what he said. He flat out said it. So, immediately, Trump and them are like, oh yeah? Like, you're calling half the country that voted for me garbage? And then they had to start backpedaling, going into damage control mode. They went as far to do another illegal act. They overrode the stenographers, and they altered the transcript where it said garbage, which is illegal. You're not allowed to alter the transcripts or any of the spoken words that have been spoken officially by a president, a sitting president. For the history books and everything. Meat Puppet, and the underground, much love. Thank you for being a supporter and part of the underground. But he lied, they tried to cover it, they got caught. What's new, right? Well, yeah, that's what's happened. I showed it on the last one. Trump pulled up in this truck, and I thought that this was kind of crazy because when he pulled up, you couldn't really see the driver at all. All the angles were just showing Trump from all these angles. And he pulled up and he's like, yeah, you like my garbage truck and blah, blah, blah. It says Trump on it. Then I saw some clips about these self-driving trucks being promoted and all that, connected to the Trump campaign. And I'm like, what? Like, was there a driver in that truck? But I'm pretty sure there probably was. I don't think it was a driverless truck, but it just made me think of it. I don't know. I told you last time when it comes to the CBDC, Trump campaign has juked their whole audience. They've said that they're going to go against the CBDC, which a lot of people out there, all they've educated themselves on is that CBDC, bad. Their side's saying it's bad, so they all say it's bad. They can't tell you why it's bad, for crying out loud, or any of the other fundamentals about it. Well, it's bad. I mean, they could start off simply by, it's tracing you, tracking you, it's surveying you, there's no privacy, all those things, taking away your freedoms and all that. But the Trump team dropped an illusion on the masses, on all the Trumpers, that they're supporting stablecoins, which is something different than CBDCs. So they launched this whole WorldCoin endeavor, and he even came out and said that we'll back, even thinking about backing stablecoins with the US dollar. Well, I hate to tell you, they're all tracked and traced on the blockchain. USDT, USDC, Tether, all of them. If they know this, if they think the people out there are that ignorant not to put it together, that's how stupid they think you are. That's how stupid they think you are. Or else they wouldn't sit there and say, oh, CBDC bad, and try to push this with the other hand, when it's the exact same thing. It's not the exact same thing, no. But it's trackable, traceable, exact same thing, yes. It is. On the blockchain, on a ledger. You can't deny it. Jeff, thank you for the coffee. So, dude, this is a trap. Okay? Jenna, welcome to the underground. All right, so Trump is suing CBS for a $10 billion for election interference via deceptive news distortion. So he's basically saying, look, they lied. Same thing that Biden was just doing, saying that they did all this to help Harris. They're, partisan in favor of her, which is very obvious. The mainstream establishment controls that whole side. And Majestic says CBDC is the same as stablecoin, huh? CBDC is government. Stablecoin is privately controlled. Privately controlled by who? Do you even know who created any of it? You think because it says private that it's a good thing? It was created by a group of individuals, shady individuals, Tether was, with some lawyers in the islands of the Bahamas. And there's been investigation as to a lot of these stable coins don't even have the assets that they claim they have behind them. Some of these stable coins claim to have trillions of dollars in assets. And they're like, how? When they've been, other stable coins in the past have been called on this to show the proof, they could not. And when they could not show any proof, they got kicked out of countries. So, and again, private or public, it's on a blockchain. And you'd be crazy to think, I don't, somebody comes up to you and says, oh, we've got a bulletproof private blockchain that the government can't crack. I'm like, shut up and get out of here. You're telling me that a government can't crack a technology that it gave you? Keep thinking that if you want. Keep thinking that. You're the same type that think that white knights are about to come and save us all, aren't you? When ain't nobody coming to save the day. Some people got wake up to the realities of what's happening here, man. We're going into a digital era where they want to track your every move. The only way that you avoid that is if you have something you can hold in your hand. You understand? Something they can't push a button and erase and steal. You need gold, silver, coins, barter system, whatever. I've told you a million times. That's what you need. Anything, man, I'm going to tell you, ask some cats that have been in crypto long enough. You get help. You get stuck holding the bag. Not to mention anything digital is hackable. I can't tell you how many hackers have gone out here and ransomed hospitals and buildings all around the globe using Bitcoin only for the feds to turn around and come back and be like, yeah, we busted them. We busted them. We busted them. We busted them. We busted them every single time. Busted them, huh? Yeah, we busted them. They tracked them down on the Bitcoin network. How's that? Because the NSA made it, if you don't know. And that's a fact. It's all by the beast. It's the same illusion, left-right paradigm, trying to give you two options. All right? Trying to make you select the lesser of two evils. Okay? They freeze up your money in the bank this week, next week, whenever it is. This is the move. This is the move. Trump bucks, whatever they're going to call it, save the day. I don't know. What I do know is most of this country is voting for Trump. That's what I'm seeing with my own eyes. If you guys have missed some of these stadiums packed full of people, I mean, it's like a football game. or like, it's rock star status. You got to give Donald Trump that. He's captivated the American people, the world, and show me an event, one event that Biden and Kamala have held down that's even a half that size. You can't. It don't exist. They've tried to have pre-concerts come out, like singers, and set it up, like have Beyonce come out and sing or whatever, and then bring Kamala out. That's garbage. That's hijacking. That's fakery, man. That's not real. That's not people just showing up because they want to see Kamala. Not like they just want to show up and see Trump. It's not. It's trickery. It's fraudulent. Just seeing it just shows how desperate they are. They're in bad shape. When you go to their hometowns and the people in their hometown are like, we're voting for Trump. There's something going on here. I'm going to play this clip here. This is out of Tim Walz's hometown in Minnesota. What people are saying.
We're in Blue Earth County, the home to Mankato, Minnesota, and the one-time home of Minnesota Governor and Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz. So with the hometown connection on the presidential ticket, we wondered what kind of support he's seeing in the final days of the race. What we found may surprise you.
We'll both vote for Trump.
Trump?
It's really the only option.
Did you vote for Trump before, ever?
I didn't.
But you're going to vote for Trump this time?
I am.
This is supposed to be Walz country. We thought it'd be a shoo-in. It's not a shoo-in? Trump or Harris?
Trump.
We've had a lot of activity with Trump. It just drives people to come in to get signs, just to talk, communicate and just have a good time talking about it.
Despite being historically blue, Blue Earth County Republicans told Alpha News volunteers have handed out more signs this election cycle than ever before. When Tim Walz was picked as Kamala Harris's running mate months ago, was there a thought here, this area doesn't stand a chance now with someone who is kind of the hometown candidate?
No, I don't think so, because I think she's not a strong candidate, and I don't ever think he was a strong candidate. So I took that she made a bad choice. I don't think he...
Wow. Why would they do this? I asked myself this with Biden. Why would they have somebody that everyone just hates so bad? I thought that it was just that with Biden. They just wanted you to hate them. They dared you to do something, right? They surrounded the White House with fencing, and they dared you to try to do something. Every little move he made. He's a gaffe machine. It was like he was made for you to hate. That's why they picked him. Like solely, that's literally the only reason. You hate the way he looked, he talked, he walked. You hated everything about him. You see? And then, his whole administration, everything about, including his vice. But what's worse is they give you his vice. She's virtually quiet as a mouse the whole time as vice. Still is. She is sitting vice and still isn't doing nothing. She could go down there and shut down the border and do all these things. She could be doing things right now to make her look better. And she's just that stupid, it seems, that she's not. But is she that stupid? Or is it all meant to be this way? To me, it's all meant to be this way, it seems, for sure. Red Eye Jedi, thank you, and welcome to the underground. How can you go to how could they ever think this was a good pick to win? If you've seen Tim Walz, if you guys listening here tonight with me, if we are the ones selecting the next person, our running candidate, and we come across Tim Walz, how in the heck can you even explain to me how this guy is good to even be selected when you start with the people in his hometown that say things like you just heard? He doesn't stand a chance. He's not liked at all. Like, how can you even go with people like that? Well, they are, and they are full steam, and it's like, why? And all I can ever chalk it up to be is like, they want you to hate it. They want you to hate them that bad. They know this dude's a goof and a gaff, and she's a ditz and that. And they want you to get frustrated with it. They want you to hate it. No, bro. Do you see where'd you send it on Twitter, Spiro? Good to see you, Spiro. You said I seen your message last time. That was at the end of the show. I said much love to you, but I didn't get it to the end of the show. So I'm gonna go on over here. Yes, I did cover that tacos. So Conor McGregor is running around on Halloween as what? G.I. Joe? Okay. He's running around as a soldier. Interesting. Let's flash it here real quick.
Trick or treat!
Well, we go on to this next one. This is the follow-up of the Trump interview. I don't know if you guys got to see the Rogan Trump interview. It was heavily censored. You couldn't find it at first, and then all of a sudden you could. And then he brought on J.D. Vance. And I thought that, look, Trump and J.D. both are heavily backed by the Luboviches. You can see it in the videos. So that is what it is. Okay, that's just a fact on who's backing them and supporting them large scale. Although when it comes to what's going on with the Mossad and all that, Trump hasn't always seen eye to eye with Netanyahu and the Mossad in them. Even though they're both supposed to be the right side. The left-leaning Biden administration here, absolutely, they did nothing to stop. They've aided. They've been sending money to Israel and everything. So it shows that if the left and the right, if they can get along there, if the right in Israel has control. I don't know what I did there. Mic check, mic check, mic check. I think I hit the wrong button. Anyhow, I want to play this clip. This is J.D. Vance saying what he did after Trump got shot, because it may resonate with some people. And I feel like they're pushing this out there just for that. They're positioning J.D. Vance to be the takeover guy when Trump's gone. Trump's got 4 years left. That's all he can run. After that, J.D. Vance could step up. He could run 8 years as president if he could win it. If they position him through these next 4 years, they do a good job of getting all the people to really like him, just like Trump, so he can hand off that torch to him. It would be different than the whole Pence thing. But, so yeah, he goes home, loads up all of his guns. You wouldn't hear anyone from the other side saying anything like that, even if they did do it. But I feel like this is an appeal, that the whole reason this is being said is an appeal to gun owners, to patriots, to all that. All this is, I'm telling you, this is how they soften people up, warm people up to someone like J.D. Vance. And he's going to be dangerous. All these individuals out here. He keeps his guns unloaded. Spirit said, LOL. Had to load them all up. Well, you know how real cats roll, brother. You know. Anyhow, CNN admits the signs are there for a second Trump term. So when CNN starts to say this, like even ahead of the election, I mean, this is looking the strongest I've ever seen it. All the times I've sat here and covered Trump running, first time, second time, now third time, Man, they've stretched this out a long ways with Trump, haven't they? But again, it ends after this. I believe that Trump wins it. I don't see how they can. I said this last time. He packed stadiums last time, and last time everybody just went home and did nothing. You sitting there looking at the Capitol surrounded by a fence. It was like everyone was like, "Oh, this is feeling kind of trappy." They pulled J6. I'm telling you, if they give you Kamala this time, it's not going to be even what they think it's going to be. You're going to see grassroots original stuff spring into action. And must have did it again there. National climate polls showing that Trump is going to win a victory. Yeah, you know, when CNN and most of the polls are starting to say this, it starts to get that landslide type feel to it, like, and it should, because he's got the numbers. I'm out here telling you it's a left-right paradigm, but I'm also honest enough and going to be straight up with you and tell you that when I look around, I see my American people around me or want this man. I see people out here saying this and that. Some people want Dr. Shiva and all this other stuff. And everyone's got their right to whoever they want, right? Well, the one person I see back in stadiums is Donald Trump, like a rock star. And that, to me, he won. He won. I said it before. You don't need none of this election, nothing, rigging. Just in every town and city, you should have a big field or an area that can hold everybody. And you bring everybody out that wants to vote for the left and put them on the left field, put everybody on the right that wants to vote for the right side, basically. Take pictures from drone, from satellite, from airplane. Take a head count right there. You can't fake it. You can't fudge it. You can't hack it. You can't do nothing. You see the visual vote right there. Everybody coming out in their towns and just tallying them from town to town to town to town to town. It's that simple. Take a head count. It's that simple. And do away with all the rest of the crap. Don't stand on what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go out there and believe it, to stand in the right field with the Trumpers and everything else. It will kill it. It will kill the illusion the moment it's done. I mean, I believe it already is. It's something they can't hide. They can't hide that this man is packing stadiums. You feel me? So, controlled, all this other stuff, left-right paradigm, that's one thing. But what the everyday American person wants is another. And to me, Donald Trump is that man. Let me get through some stuff here. We had a weird event here. A guy throws a cell phone at Trump as he's leaving this event, leaving the building. And it kind of catches the security off guard a bit. He was just a little slow, but he gets out and kicks it. But it's weird why this guy did this. It's really odd. Jenna, thank you for gifting the underground. We'll play a clip so you guys can see this. It's kind of weird how he tosses it out there. Not sure what he was thinking, but there was no other details to it. I mean, they got on the dude, apparently. Here, I'm going to play it. throws it and points. The person throws it and starts pointing. Good thing he didn't throw a pager. Anything. I mean, think about it. If they can just blow up anything through vibration, any electronic at this point, that is potentially scary right there. I'm surprised they didn't run with this, third assassination attempt. But don't you think it's kind of weird the way that went down? It's almost like there was something on the phone the person had on it that they wanted Trump to see or read. So they kind of slid it out there and threw it out on the ground and pointed at it. I don't know. Kind of suspect. We don't have any other details, so I don't know. But the Secret Service dude right here, if you watch him, play it one more time. He runs over and kicks it. He's yelling, "Get it up, get it up." That caught him off guard. You could see they were stressed. You could see that caught them off guard. They were stressed, and that's got to be nothing but high stress, trying to secure someone like that. But no, man. They apparently came out attacking him, trying to say that, they keep saying he's a Nazi and he was going to do this and that. It's like, if you're going to say something, come out with something factual. The fact they keep coming out with this literal fake news stuff and trying to stick it to him, and it's getting dismantled quickly, it's kind of like, why do they keep doing this? What they're doing, there's obvious proof that they're lying. And it can be proven, like we're going to show you. They tried to say that he called for Liz Cheney to be, executed in all this. Well, this is what really happened.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, "Oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy." But she's a stupid person. And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very...
Okay, so that's the clip. It says here that he did not say that, and that he called her out for being a war hawk, for supporting endless wars. And then here is Liz Cheney's response to it down here. I don't know, man. That's the clip. If he said that, then how can you say he didn't say it? I don't know. Let's jump into the voting stuff, because we got a lot of this that's just, if he wins it or not, you got to deal with all this other stuff going on, like these passwords being found. How do you walk into a place and find the passwords to all the voting machines just sitting on the ground? How is this even possible? Well, the Libertarian Party is suing this Colorado Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, over this whole thing, because that's exactly what's happened. And this seems like a massive scandal. She's trying to downplay it and all this other stuff, of course, lying and saying no, that it's not the case. But it is the case. They've got an individual right here that found him, and he's on camera, just wanted his face blurred out. It says, Poll judge login credentials found outside Dallas, Texas polling location on folded paper, including the usernames, passwords, and election code. They blur out a lot of the stuff. How is it even possible?
Well, I'm working as a poll reader. I was going to check the count, and as I maybe about 20 feet from the door, I look down, piece of paper right here. So I picked it up and I open it, and it's got passwords for the election machines. Just to make sure that this was legitimate, I asked her, I said, "Hey, what's this?" She said, "Yeah." She's like, "That's the password to get into the poll books."
So can you show me this document?
This is
that's the form.
That's the login information to get into the voting machines.
You can see they blurred it out.
I just wanted to call. I actually wanted to report an incident related to some information that that was discovered outside of a polling location.
They found login credentials at a polling location.
And it was found outside of the polling location on the ground, a piece of paper folded up with, again, what looks to be like login credentials with a username, password, election code. Are you the right person to report that to?
Yes, I'm taking this down.
Oh, okay, perfect, no problem.
What is your name, sir? Mr. Morgan, what is your phone number, please? I'm taking this information down, and I'm going to send a ticket out to that location, and we're going to investigate this to find out who exactly it belongs to.
Are you able to tell us, like, is this something, do all the judges, do they share all the same passwords? Has this been reported lost?
No,
okay.
They don't, so that's why we need to know who they belong to.
Okay, so would it be easy enough in an investigation to isolate based on having the information? Like if I were to give you all of the data, like I can email it to you, take a picture to see if it's an individual who lost this?
Can you email it to us, please? No, let's do this other one that would go.
You can see here, it was real deal. This went down. I'm just showing you here with all this. This is just one instance. New polls shows that Trump leads by 8 points in Arizona, and that candidate Kari Lake is now winning as well. So, Arizona, salutes to my people out there. That's what's going on in your neck of the woods. Lee Spiro. Cats out there. It seemed like last time with the election when they put the other lady in or whatever, that it was the same thing. That everyone wanted Lake, but they didn't give it to him. This time around, we'll see what happens. We have postal boxes that have been targeted. I showed you last time they were caught on fire in several different places. They even caught some suspects tied to that. But now we've got a situation where they're saying that they were broke into. The same county Dem-funded GBI Strategies was investigated in a fraudulent voter registration investigation. And this is out of Muskegon County, Michigan. Ballots missing after a post box break-in. Imagine that. Okay? Here's one out of my home state. One at which they tried hard to bury. They tried hard to say it didn't happen until it did happen again. When they tried to reproduce the results, they did see it happen again. And that's why this says it did occur. Because the first time it happened and it was put out there, they tried to say, oh, that's like other videos that we're not sure if it's real or not, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, nuh-uh. They took the machine out of commission. They tested it to try to get the results again. And sure enough, it happened. It didn't happen every time, but it happened. And they admitted it. The clerk admitted it. Okay? So it shows proof that this is happening. Without a doubt, this is happening. Some people are like, oh, fat finger this, you can touch it there. No. In this video, they're clearly touching it right on the name. Right on the name. Right on the name. Every time. And this isn't the only instance. We've seen things out of Texas, but this is out of my own state. That's just craziness. Play it one more time. They're clearly touching nowhere near Kamala's name. Nowhere near it. That's, so what happened, the local county clerk issued a statement confirming the issue did occur, but not before they had denied it, the whole thing. So they're so quick to jump into place and lie. And so, guess what? Well, they're standing there with a bunch of people trying to redo it and it happens again. They have no choice but to make a statement. Like, at least they did. I'll give them at least they did make the statement and put it out there. Made a quick post on Facebook. Should have been like an announcement on camera and all this other stuff. But no, just a quick post on Facebook. Cover up the tracks. But it did occur. So it is occurring is what I want to point out. So they can't, anyone that wants to say, oh, well, that was it didn't happen. Or anything like that. It did happen, period, and they made it happen again to prove it. So there's something going on. You can't dispute that because it's now a fact and proven. Okay? So that's just one instance. Can you imagine what's happening across the country? Now, I don't buy much of anything out of either of these two. I've told you everything there is needed to be known about these guys when it comes to Tulsi and RFK Jr. Everybody's got their likes, though. It seems that they felt that the right would accept these people and like these people, so they brought them aboard. And they came aboard. Tulsi left the Democratic Party some time ago and then waited to make her announcement to jump on board with the Republicans here recently. And then in RFK positioned himself as running for president, but then jumped ship and went with Trump. And these are, everyone's taking like this rock star moment because Tulsi used to get, she was getting boos from the other side. Now, when she's walking into these places with Trump, they're walking in, they're feeling the energy. They're feeling the power of the people. And they're being treated different. So she's went from one side of the spectrum to the other. And you always knew it was going to happen. They were dressing her in white. And they tried to say she wasn't connected to WEF, even though she was. And she was on the website forum page, and we busted it. And once we busted it, they went into damage control mode and took her picture down. Anyhow, I'm just being real with you so you know who these people really are. She also said she would never support Joe Biden. They wanted you to toe the line. And before it was all said and done, I kid you not, just go back and look. She supported Joe Biden. After saying all these things, that's why I was like, man, you're just one of them all day long. All you goons are. The way I see it is if they aren't really getting threats on their life, they're not really a threat then.
My daughter-in-law ran my campaign, the smartest person I've ever met, Amaryllis Fox, who was on, did a beautiful interview yesterday on Tucker that I urge you to watch. It's been one of the best interviews I've ever seen. You'll see her brilliance, her eloquence, and her encyclopedic knowledge. She spent 10 years working for the CIA. She joined immediately after 9/11 out of an idealistic impulse. But what she says is, there's 20,000 people who work for that agency, and 19,000 of them are good American patriots and good public servants. But the top echelon of that agency is corrupt and utterly corrupt. In fact, I had a dinner with Mike Pompeo in Las Vegas.
All right, I'm going to spare you trying to make out everything he's saying because it is kind of low, and he has the issue when he talks anyway, where it's kind of hard to understand. But what he's saying is, he's saying he's gonna take down the CIA, the upper echelon. Trying to say that most of it is full of good Americans, but it's the upper echelon. It's corrupt. He flat out says it. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. So they're going to go through and they're going to reorganize it, gut it, so to speak. And it's almost like, okay, good luck. Let's see. Like, if you're a real threat to them, they eliminate you like they did JFK. He called them out, and they took him out in the process of killing the king. I don't know what he's doing here. If he's trying to make it seem like this or not, we'll see. Let them get in there. Let's see what they do. Someone coming along talking about reorganizing the upper echelon of the CIA and getting the corruption out of there is a good thing. It's better than no one talking about doing it. Right? So it's like, okay, give them the fair chance to see what they can do, or will it just be more false promises? Only time will tell in this regard. But I say, give them this. I was going to say give them a shot, but give them a chance at doing it and see what happens. Let's see how many heads roll. I'm still waiting for Hillary for president. Remember? It ain't never going to happen because Trump decided he didn't want to. That was his exact words. He didn't want to. He didn't want to send her to prison. So, out here on this world stage, much love Pixie. So, they're using him as rock star status. Both sides do this. They pull out their star power. And Robert Kennedy Jr. has that. He apparently brought down the House in Arizona. He calls out the legacy media, Big Pharma, and the elites at this at Tucker's Arizona rally. So, these events are big energy. It's similar to like a ball game. It really is. It's a lot of energy. Everybody is rooting for, who they want to win. And everybody that shows up is like all rooting for like the same. It's almost different than a ball game, because in a ball game, you've actually got some of the opposition's fans there, right? Like almost always. This is like the strictly all one-sided avalanche. When you go to these events. So it's different in that sense. You've got the card being played by the left and by some of these stars that I think there's definitely dirt on. That are trying to say that if Trump gets in there, he's going to, take over everything. He's going to throw people in jail. There's going to be a violent reality for America. And it's like, hold on, man. He didn't do this last time, and the man was supposed to put Hillary in jail. Again, he didn't. So it's like, this is pathetic. Remember, she came out and she was pushing the LGBT, all this crap, and jabs and all this other stuff. Toeing the line for the establishment. Here she is over here trying to fake shed a tear like she's scared to death. Country might actually prosper if Trump gets in there, right? It's not doing it now. Driven into the ground. Let's just be honest about it. I don't know. I hope Low Rider's all good. Seen him here last show. He's always out there getting into something, though. He's a big boy. Hopefully he's taking care of his own. Yeah. Much love. Low Rider. You've got to take note that Eminem just came out. Beyonce just came out supporting these people. Beyonce on this list. This dark list and everything connected to P. Diddy. So her card is basically pulled. It's like, come out here and support the establishment, or your name is ran in the headlines next. That's how this game works. So everybody you see here, toeing the line, Taylor Swift, all these cats. Thank you, Michael. And that's a good point. Trump wins after 4 years, then what? Well, they're going to pass it over to J.D. Vance. It's obvious that's their plan. They're going to prime him for an 8-year presidential run. He's young. He'll carry the torch from there. You got to put it somewhere. You got to put the energy somewhere. When Trump's finally stepping off the stage and he can, he serves 4 years. I don't know. Boy, oh boy. If they've already done all this, a 4-year run with him as president, I think they're going to try to throw him in jail if he gets in there, all this stuff. Matter of fact, I can almost guarantee that's like one of the cards they're going to play. If they even allow this. There's still a lot of big ifs here, man, right now. House of Representatives is key in this. They can, if the Democrats control it, they can draw up this act against him and push it through that he's an insurrectionist. And that will stop him from getting votes. And that will be the excuse that Kamala needs and will use to not certify the election. It's her job to do it. And imagine, if she doesn't do it, then it's like she wins. So, why would she do it? Come on now. This thing is staring you right in the face. That's the first hurdle you got to get over. All right? If there's enough votes and all this, she's got to certify. What if she does not? I'm telling you, again, something big is about to happen. On many different fronts. So they're going to continue to pull out their people, I guess, but this thing's about over. Over the weekend, the last-ditch attempts, whatever they got to throw at it. But I got one more live show before Election Day officially. I'll be live Monday. And that's going to be like the final hour thing there. I'm debating on coverage for election night or not. You guys let me know what you think in the chat. I don't know that we'll even get a result that night. Matter of fact, I can almost guarantee you we don't. They're already telling us we won't. All right, let me get into this. Look at this. Kim Kardashian. You don't think she ain't been to a Diddy party? She ain't been to any and all this? Yeah. Look at this boy right here. Her son, man, oh man, that's Kanye West's boy right there. It's Kanye West's boy. And guess what? He was starting to wake up. He was sharing anti-Kamala Harris videos on his YouTube. And Mom seen it and was like, oh, crap, we can't have that. Establishment will flip. They will flip. No, gone. Sorry, son. You can't be doing that. Yeah, she checked him, deleted it, gone. And it's like, wow, okay. So he was over here, getting knowledge. And, he was seeing it from the other side. It's like he's finally, I don't know. It's just nuts. Look at this. To take it even further, look what she does. Yeah, I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, so I probably should have to stick with Wednesday and pick it up on Wednesday, though. I don't even think we may not even have a result by that night. So, I don't know, Kevlar. It's a good one. Are y'all ready for this? Woman flips out, deletes her son's YouTube because of all this, and she comes out showing her true colors for Halloween. Look at this. It's not photoshopped. This is Kim Kardashian as a lizard. Well, it was supposed to be like a white albino gator or something, but it's the reptile, clearly scaled out and all the whole thing. There's video clips of them getting her ready and doing all this stuff, but yeah, this is what she went as. This right here. Now, it doesn't get much more in your face than this right here. Let me tell you, this is like, I'm sorry my son was doing that, for the establishment. Let me just go out here all out for you. Just Halloween, I'll just do this. And just rep the dark side here, full on. Show them what we're really about. That's what she's doing there, huh? Reminds me of the movie The V. The original. You remember that? Anybody remember The V? Where the skin comes off and they're they're lizards like underneath. It's crazy. That's an old one. That's when I was young. The original V. That tripped me out when I was young, and that stuck with me. And then when the second series came out, and then they stopped it abruptly and all this craziness. No, man. A villain from a video game. Okay. Well, regardless, I don't care who or what, it's Big Lizard. And she's telegraphing that to all the little kitties. Yeah. You see this in your bedroom at night, kitties? Don't be alarmed, right? Again, Root, thank you for those coffees. DC, getting ready for the chaos. I put out a video on this, trying to just let people know that DC can get crazy. You guys that have been following me for some time, you should know this. If it wasn't for my own, things I'm going through in life, myself, I would have been up there for this event. But just can't make it. Not this time around. I've been up there covering the last, every single time Donald Trump's ran. I covered everything the first time. Was up in Cleveland, running the RNC, all that stuff. Went to the inauguration. Of course, this last time with Biden, they blocked everything off. And what's crazy is my soul told me not to go to J6. Normally, it's because the last time I was in D.C., I left there with a bad taste in my mouth. Because I've got the video on my channel. Literal bad taste in my mouth. Being pepper sprayed, bombed with repercussion grenades, and they ran up and they did it right in front of me. I got it on film. Broad daylight, right here in the streets of DC, right here, right in the heart of it. Same places that are boarding up right now. There's a limousine sitting out here, and they busted the windows out of the limousine. They caught it on fire. And this whole block, this whole stretch or two, couple square blocks turned into a war zone. And me and Eric, old Eric, man, if he's out there, I wish I could holler at that kid again. We ran straight toward this madness. There was bombs, it sounded like bombs going off. This huge explosion, like boom. And it was the police throwing big repercussions out into the crowd. Well, they run right up from behind me and throw one right in front of me, and I'm live streaming. And it goes off. And there's dudes busting bricks up out of the ground, chucking bricks at the police. But what was crazy is they were falling short, and they were hitting their own people on the front line that were up in the police's face. It was madness, dude. Knocking their own people out, bodies dropping, windows busted out at the police station, police sitting on the other side of the glass with the guns drawn, just waiting. Dude, I've seen some craziness up here. So yeah, when I left out of that time, when I got back to the hotel, there and the RNC, I ate pepper spray in all them both places. I had it coming down my sinuses in the shower, like the next day and everything. It was that bad. The freaking chemicals. So I've been chemical attacked by these fools for sure, many times. It was enough to make me not want to go back. So when they were like J6, I was just like, shh, FTC, screw all that. Like I didn't, I see it as a trap. And sure enough, that's exactly what it ended up being. I thank God he gives me those gut feelings of intuition on things. DC is their playground. Last time, when we go to Crystal City, which is like right across the river. We stay in a hotel over there, like outside of their energy pocket, and all that. And then work our way in, even walk across the bridge and work my way in that way, depending on the situation. Sometimes by foot is the only way out when everything gets shut down. And you can't have a weapon to defend yourself. Like, these are trap locations. These are the places you will not find me in. I've learned that you don't go to them. This is where people are going to get shot up and killed in mass. It's going to be in a place where you can't have a gun, you can't defend yourself. It's just that simple. In a place where everyone can defend themselves, like in a moment's notice, you just don't see it. Because anyone could just gun them down and stop them, and that's usually what happens. When people are armed. So do you think chaos is about to pop off? I guess that's the big question here tonight. Are you ready? And do you think that this thing is about to pop off? Win or lose, or whoever wins. Let's talk about this for a second, because there could be something huge about to be staged. Matter of fact, come on. Look what they've been doing. They love these theatrics. You'd be pretty ignorant to not expect something at this point, I would think. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're right. All right. They're going to do something. It's pretty obvious. Something. Some kind of chaos. They're putting another layer of fencing up already. They just had a huge drill. They had an evacuation drill. They actually evacuated the entire campus in a drill connected to this. When Trump won that first time, that these businesses wasn't boarded up. They weren't boarded up like this. They weren't. BLM is another thing, though. BLM, it was a different time. BLM is not around right now. They've been dismantled for the most part. It's shifted to the pro-Palestinian movement, which has been kind of quiet. But I'm gonna tell you now, they're gonna have this whole area full of someone, of some kind. They're gonna flood it. Whether it's BLM, pro-Palestine, they're going to have paid whatever to do something. They're not going to miss this opportunity. This one says right here, they believe the left is preparing for war if Trump wins. So I just want to quickly think about this. Just lay it out there. Start with if Trump wins, then we'll go to if Kamala wins. If Trump wins, there's forks in the road. Almost every step we take, there's a fork. Okay, Trump wins. he wins by how? Like Kamala actually certified him and it's official and all this? Okay, let's just start to say it happens. Okay? Which I find hard to even get past that point. Let's just say it happens. He gets in there. He has to go to court because they've delayed all these things. Remember, he's already a 34 felon convicted dude at this point. They're going to try to stick something to him, for sure. They're going to try to, like, put him in jail or house arrest. Now, here is something crazy. Donald Trump, when talking about this, he said he didn't have a problem with doing whatever. You know, it was like, if they find me, if I've got to go in and I got to serve, he was talking like he would go in and serve. And it's like, hold on. We just watched Bannon go in and serve 4 months. Did we not? He just went in and came out and showed everybody it was nothing. That's pretty much how he portrayed it. He's like, I came out sharper and stronger. He goes, they held me for 4 months, but I'm out. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, that's what they're about to do to Trump. A little circus show like this. But to put him in somewhere, of course he's going to be eating caviar when the cameras are off and all this other stuff, you ask me. But you just never know at this point. When they say that they've got him locked up and you can't see nothing, and we can't see nothing. You can't prove nothing. I think they played his card. Now, Trump said he had no problem with going in, doing whatever he had to do. And they were like, what if they put you on house arrest? And then that's where I started leaning heavy toward, like, they're definitely going to do that, for sure. Like, if he didn't get to go to jail, he'll definitely get, like, house arrest, can't leave the White House, you know, or something. So these are forks right here in the road with him that you're going to have to contend now. Will people get pissed off and revolt if they put him in jail? I almost think that's the plan. They hope that happens. They hope that if they put him in jail or give you Kamala over, or like don't certify the election and he wins, that the Trumpers will revolt. That something's finally going to happen. You know, if Trump wins, everyone's going to be pretty much happy, right? Until they say, oh, we're putting him in jail. And then what? People would protest, I'm sure. But if he comes out and says, no, he tells his people, he's just like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do what I got to do. We're going to make it through this. And he calls for no protest because if he says anything, it's going to feed into what they're trying to say. He's an insurrectionist. Just like they did last time. That he called for this. He called for people to do this and that. So he's going to be very careful with everything that he says and does. Because the moment he does say anything and people go into motion, it's over. So let's go to Kamala. What happens if they give you Kamala? Do all these people sit there and do nothing like they did last time? And just say, like, everyone was shocked, I think, at first last time, but then they were like, what do we do? And, like, Trump came out and said, we were going to try to fight this in court, and da-da-da. And, like, he slow-rolled it and, like, didn't really care. He didn't even really care to fight the whole thing, if you ask me, because everybody knows he won it. And he knows that. And just, he pushed it off for 4 years. Like, look, we're going to get him in this next election. And everyone just accepted it. Everyone was like, you know, well, instead of going to war today, we'll just wait 4 more years, put it off 4 years. And it's kind of like what they did. Well, now, Trump, this is it. He said he's not running 4 years from now. If he loses this time or whatever, he's not running again. So just kill that right quick. It's done. He's done admitted it's done. He's sick of this. He'll ride out these 4 years if he wins it, is what he said. Outside of that, it's done. So this is it. This is Trump's last 4 years, potentially here at all, period. And it gets passed off. I think they crashed the economy on Trump. Remember, I started the stream off 2 hours ago by telling you that Jeff Bezos is dumping billions of Amazon. I've told you stream after stream. Billionaires across the board are dumping. Yesterday, there was a massive amount of money dumped in the market. It's happening. Let's jump on to some more talk here. What happens to the whole illegal migrant thing? The migrants apparently saying they're not even going to attempt to come in here anymore if Trump wins. Well, that's a good thing. Especially when you've got illegal invaders coming in, murderers coming in left and right. Now, look, we had James O'Keefe interview a Border Patrol whistleblower. And they put out this thing called Line in the Sand, this film that was exposing everything happening. And he was one of the key individuals in it. And he's faced retaliation now for exposing all the child trafficking and all that going on. He's had his badge, radio, body armor, and firearm revoked, essentially fired and shut down for speaking the truth on all this. I just want to play this update because this is key. It shows you what they're doing and trying to silence this. You don't have guys come out like this every day willing to lose it all to tell you the truth. And that's what this guy's doing here. So
we have an update, a pretty shocking update, on the U.S. Border Patrol agent Zachary Apotheker from the film Line in the Sand. He received another letter retaliating against him for speaking out about child trafficking in our movie Line in the Sand. This letter, written by Division Chief No Name, they're trying to disguise the name, up there in Swanton, Vermont. The letter says, quote, "I am temporarily revoking your law enforcement authority. They're taking away his badge, his TAC phone, his radio, his body armor, electronic control device, placed on administrative duties immediately." That means they're cutting Zachary's pay because he, quote, "failed to participate in a compelled interview." Now, what Zach actually did in the administrative hearing just a couple weeks ago is he said he's going to the Office of Inspector General. He's a whistleblower, and he referred them to that, but they're retaliating against him. Zachary is signing this most recent letter, John 3:16, which is a Bible verse. Now, those questions they had asked him, remember those questions a few weeks ago? Did you participate in any filmed interview Line in the Sand? Did you receive compensation? Have you provided secret information about CPB? If he answered yes to any of these questions, Zach had responded, "Indeed, I did participate, just like all the other Border Patrol agents." Remember, in the film, many Border Patrol agents talked to me in their vehicles, but they're retaliating against Zach because he talked about the child trafficking. He talked about how he did not receive approval, but he did receive, quote, "all the necessary approval from the Constitution, directed to do what I have done from the oath of office I took under God the day I entered office." We at Citizen Journalism Foundation, that's a nonprofit organization that we have on the OMG website, we are paying Zach's legal bills. We are providing support to these whistleblowers, some counsel, and we have another whistleblower coming out tomorrow from the federal government, inspired by what Zach did, called to a higher power for a higher purpose. Stay tuned tomorrow. New federal whistleblower, Zach, we got your back.
all right, so there's an update from O'Keefe and what happened there with that interview. So obviously, when we got people out here coming out willing to expose the child trafficking and everything that's going on, Border Patrol dudes, they're getting stripped of everything. So it's good to hear and to see, though, that O'Keefe and company here are paying the guys legal fees. But I don't know what's going to come of this. I don't know. I mean, this is what's happening. This is why so many people are afraid to speak because they're afraid to lose their job. But this guy did the right thing because, as he said, the Constitution and all this, this is the right direction, you know? Again and again, these guys keep coming out and they keep saying that, look, from our intel, from what we can tell, if Kamala gets in there, they're planning to have some kind of civil war. And that the plan is to have that period. Even if she doesn't get the votes, the whole thing of not certifying the election is crazy. That we're in a situation like this. She is like, really, if she gets in there, as I said before, if Kamala gets in there and they give us Kamala, from the very second they say it, any market that is open will dump. And these dudes that got back doors and these rich guys and all this other stuff, these guys that dump all the time while the market triggers stop you, all the peons, from being able to sell. When these triggers get hit and the market stops, and all the selling stops because, you know, they have these triggers in place to stop it from collapsing down too fast and all this stuff. Well, the big dogs seem to always be able to just dump away. And they're doing so. What do you do if you're an investor, any of these billionaires, and you know that this person is getting ready to tax you at the wahoo on all your investments? What do you do? Personally, I'm selling immediately. Because as soon as you go into their new rules, into the next year, under their rules and everything, they're going to try to be coming after everything. Remember, she said she's going after unrealized gains, which is insane. It's an unrealized gain, meaning something that you're holding over time that can increase and decrease in value. Over time, you're holding it to try to make money over time. So say you want to hold it for like 5-10 years, just try to make that money out of it. Well, nah, they're wanting to tax what you're holding right now at whatever value they give it. It's pure corruption. You're gonna be like, oh, well, it's worth that much to us right now, and you owe us 30% of that right now. It's pretty much what they're doing. When this is insane. It's cash out now. Loud. You've been screaming that for weeks. I mean, it may be too late now for anyone to try to get out. I don't know what you can get out Monday before this election, but if she's in there, I see this market coming down hard, and it's going to affect everybody. Everybody. It could freeze up everything. Matter of fact, they could freeze it all. If it dumps that hard, their excuse would be to put freezes and triggers in place. Oh boy. Yeah. This is with the economy. It's such a double-edged sword here. It's like we're gonna get it either way it goes here. You're gonna get it right out the gate with Kamala, or as Elon and company said, you're gonna get it through Trump and them, because they're pulling $2 trillion out of the $6 trillion deficit, and they admitted that it will take a hit and have to recover. So they've telegraphed and told us there's a hit coming. It's all there. This one says, are you fully prepared for post-election violence? Well, how could it possibly, outside of D.C., turn chaotic in your neck of the woods? How could it? How can they achieve that? How could they achieve spreading the stress out into all these other areas outside of D.C.? Because normally, if we were all like, we just don't care. Well, they're going to make you care. They're going to make you all stressed. Well, how would they do that? Well, one way is putting you in the dark. I just don't think they're going to do that. I don't think EMP is going to hit. I feel like this is going to be financial freeze. Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. They just told you, Bofa, it's about to get nailed by the feds on this whole thing for money laundering. And again, I don't even think the sheep got it. It's so huge. It's so huge. I guess, when the mainstream media spoon feeds it to them and they get it and they finally see it's going to be too late then. They won't be able to get their money out then. And that's the thing. It's already begun, all this. All I keep thinking about, man, is that Bezos is done dumping tonight. Like tonight, my man done cashed in 3 billion chips. Like, are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? This does not happen every day. Especially right before an election. Like, are you kidding me? And then you got the wars. Then you got all the war fronts that could just change everything here. They're talking about Iran launching an attack from Iraq on Israel in the coming days, meaning before the election. Okay, so on the world stage, expect some things to fire up as well. Taiwan mobilizes 400,000 people because they feel China is about to make a move. I don't even know if that's anywhere near enough. I don't even know how you're going to stop this. How are you going to stop China that's just going to have people coming out the woodwork constantly? They literally have millions and millions and millions of soldiers. They could just keep sending and sending and sending. We're about to see. Because if this thing goes hot, which it is, it's going to, they're not just going through all this for nothing. China is looking to make a statement move and get this done. Get the thorn out of their side and have all control of Taiwan under unification and lock down all the South China Sea. All the trading that goes through it as well. I told you earlier, we're in a Cold War. It has begun. We're in an economic Cold War. China, Russia leading the way on the other side. And the world's a stage, man. Our Coast Guard expanding its presence into the Indo-Pacific amid China concerns. So, Coast Guard spread all the way out away from our country into the Indo-Pacific. Not protecting our coastline. It's little things like these that, I don't know. All right, man, I had to, this wire keep coming loose on the side here. Check this out. This is pretty crazy. This is Russia basically saying, you wanted to steal our money. Which is crazy that they did it on the world stage. But it's like, it's the reason to start this whole world war. They stole all of Russia's money. They haven't given it back. They're not going to give it back. And they just find YouTube, Google, okay? They find them for blocking Russia's channels. They find them 20 decillion. Can you even wrap your head around how large that number is? A decillion. You got to go through like a quintillion and a sextillion and all this other stuff before you even get there. Like, they find them an astronomical amount that they'll never, ever be able to touch or pay off. So now this thing's spreading to corporations. Do you see? It's spreading out. So the dominoes are dropping. The Ukrainians in the mainstream are starting to acknowledge the dire situation in Ukraine. And what timing. Because if Trump's getting in there, this whole thing's ending anyway. And apparently Russia to sweep up. I've showed you all the advancements they're making. They're not going to give up anything that they've taken. None of it. Maybe one small little itty bitty town or sector for a negotiation, but nah. All the large swaths of area that they've taken, they've consumed. They are now part of the Russian Federation. Vladimir Putin has said that. They're not getting none of it. Donetsk, all of it. They're in there and they're staying there. That's where the border has been moved. Okay, so something's got to give here. Something has got to give. Satellite images are showing that Russia weirdly emptied out its warships out of the Black Sea fleet base, only to put them back later. And they did this several times. And, well, I think it's pretty obvious to me, looking at this whole situation, they moved them because they thought they were getting ready to get bombed and struck. I mean, Ukraine is striking all the way down toward Moscow. Crimea is right there. And they want to keep Crimea back. Anyway, so it was pretty smart of them to move the stuff if they thought it was going to get hit. And then as soon as they get it back, they get a feeling they're going to get hit again. They moved it out. So it's not weird at all that someone feels like they're about to get their assets bombed and they get them out of the area. It stopped them from getting destroyed. It did, because it scattered them out over a larger area which they could not target and they could not hit away from the base. And it stopped the whole idea of blowing the whole thing up with all the stuff in it. So, a lot of strategic maneuvering going on in a lot of places right now, man. North Korea, this is why you can say, World War is in this. North Korea, we've known what side they're on, but they're sending troops officially. All right? And look what the UN says. I find this ominous. They don't never really come out and make comments like this. They say North Korean troops that are fighting in Ukraine will surely return in body bags. I'm telling you, this is a setup. When I see this, when I read it, when I take all this in, it's screaming at me. It's in motion. It's in motion. It's in motion. People just ignoring what's going on with North Korea. Just blew up all the bridges with South Korea, the demarcation bridge, all of it. They just launched this massive missile that is intercontinental, that can hit the United States. Okay? So, North Korea test launches an ICBM capable of hitting the U.S. with record-setting flight. So this is what just happened. Again, timing. This is what just happened. And looky here. Shout outs to Vet. He shot me this information earlier, and he says, look, if they don't get their way, this is what's going down. Sure enough, what does this headline say? It is huge, right? North Korean officials in Moscow say that the U.S. and South Korea are plotting a nuclear strike. All we are is a launch away. We're like right there. Anything can happen at any moment. And this is where we're at, man. It's It's kind of surreal sometimes to know that we're right here. Now, I want to remind you that these minions, they have a lot of plans. A lot of those plans are to control us. One of the ways to do that, though, is through the money system. It's key to everything that they're doing. We've been telling you over and over again, these wallets, the digital wallet, CBDC, or now just these stable coins, anything that they can track and trace on a blockchain. There's a warning to all that, right? Well, they want us on a new system. In the World Economic Forum, you all know this. It's called the Great Reset. They have not reset nothing yet. Nothing. It hasn't happened yet. Like, we're there. It's like about to happen. It only happens if the U.S. economy can come down hard. And if there's ever anything to bring it down and the stars were aligned to do it, it's where we're sitting right now. You don't get another window and a chance like this. You know, this whole election thing is a unique setting. It happens every 4 years. And everything's at a pinnacle. Everything's at a peak. We've been in a bull run. The market was in a bull run. Bitcoin at a peak. Gold at a peak. But now all of a sudden cats are dumping. The couple days right before election day, watch it again. Something huge is about to happen with this whole thing. And I think they freeze up the banks. They freeze up the money. They freeze up something. Call it cyber tax. Call it whatever. Remember, they are set up to hold this whole huge thing on election day down in Georgia. And they've got a conference the following 2 days after that. While that conference is going on, they're probably going to be still tallying votes. Because they've told us in several states it's going to take a couple days at least for them to tally votes in those areas. So, I know, and I feel you, Penny. I feel you there. There's a higher power at play here. In a lot of different ways. These fallen ones that are here, they're giving them technology. And you got to remember, these fallen ones got in trouble to begin with because they were not supposed to be teaching man certain things. It was forbidden. They weren't supposed to give certain technology and this knowledge to man. And of course, it was forbidden to have any sexual intercourse with them too, but they didn't listen. They didn't listen at all. And, of course, they changed everything. This place gets wiped out because they got it going so crazy. Well, all this jinn, this dark spirit world is real. Okay? It's very real. And with all this, the theme of Halloween and everything, people should really take the time to see what it's about. As I said on the last stream, people get out there and they do their holidays. But I grew up a kid in the same system as all you guys. And I had the Halloween nights where we went out and we'd had bags full of candy. And we'd go hit some of the richest neighborhoods around to get the biggest candy bars and even money that we could in doing it and all that. And we went out on nights like Cabbage Night, Devil's Night, all those things. But that's a kid. When you mature, when you realize that these things are connected to rituals that are dark, that feed right back to the same minions that you're battling, how can you participate? So I don't. I get it for the kids, but this day and age, it gets dangerous anyway. I'm just going to say, with the fentanyl and the handing out of candy and all this other stuff, you better be on top of what your kids are consuming from strangers out there in this day and age. When they've done shown us, they'll kill millions of us through this fentanyl. And all you got to do is touch it. It only takes once. I don't know, man. It's just, I just see it all as devilish. I mean, is it not? It's the whole theme of it. Well, check this one out. I saved this one for last. You've seen this in the headline, and it's kind of like crazy to think, like, what? Like, did Tucker actually get attacked by a demon? He apparently did. And this is apparently very real. And you may have never heard about it before, but, you know, these type of stories come out around times like these. And it made him look into God harder. Because one attacked him in his sleep. As he slept in the bed with his dogs and his wife, which he says are traditionally light sleepers, all of them, he woke up from being attacked on his rib cage and over his left shoulder. Clawed so deep that it bled and it left marks on him. That doesn't happen to everyone. You understand? Not everyone. First off, he needs protected by the Holy Spirit. First and foremost is all I could say there. Much love, Crown Jewels. This is crazy. I'm gonna Minx, thank you for the coffee. Remember the 5th of November. Much love. Hey, it's that time. We are there. We are there. I'm gonna play this clip of Tucker explaining it, and then give some final thoughts, take us out of here after that for the night. But play the clip. We'll talk about it. See what you guys think. Hear what you guys have been through yourselves out there. We wrestle not against the flesh, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. That scripture holds so true. Matter of fact, man, they engrave it on the wall or something. Like, I'd say I'd get a tattoo of it, but I don't ain't doing the tattoo stuff. You see these people getting it, these face tattoos and all this stuff out here. It's just nuts. All right, I'm playing this.
Do you think the presence of evil is kickstarting people to wonder about the good?
That's what happened to me.
That's what happened to you?
Oh yeah, I had a direct experience with it.
In the milieu of journalism or just?
Nope, in my bed at night, and I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled.
He said mauled.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon. Or by something unseen that left.
Is that right?
Claw marks on my sides, on my...
So it left physical marks?
Oh, they're still there. Yeah. A year and a half ago.
Was your wife terrified? I know you were.
I wasn't. I was totally confused. I woke up and I couldn't breathe and I thought I was going to suffocate, and I walked around outside, and then I walked in and my wife and dogs had not woken up, and they're very light sleepers. And then I had these terrible pains on my rib cage and on my shoulder, and I was just in my boxer shorts, and I went and flipped on the light in the bathroom, and I had 4 claw marks on either side underneath my arms and on my left shoulder, and they're bleeding.
Wait, they were bleeding?
They're bleeding, yeah. No, they're actual claw marks. And I sleep on my side, so I wasn't clawing myself. I don't have long nails. And they didn't fit my hands anyway. But yeah, that happened. So I'm not from a world where things like that happen. I never heard of anything like that happening before. I had no idea what that was. I knew it was spiritual immediately.
You did? Okay, that was gonna be my question.
Yeah. I don't understand to this day. I'm not gonna put it
You didn't try to refute the spiritual part in your own mind. You went right into the
Well, it didn't make any sense, and it doesn't now. But I'm not from a, what do they call it, faith tradition that talks about things like that or even acknowledges their existence. Like, there's nothing like that. I've never heard anybody say anything like that in my whole life.
What was the next day like?
Well, the next morning I woke up and I thought, that was the weirdest dream I've ever had. And then I saw blood on my sheets and I realized that was not a dream at all. I called my assistant, who was like the only evangelical Christian I know, well enough to call with something bizarre like that, totally bizarre like that. And she said, oh yeah, no, that happens. Yeah, people are attacked in their bed by demons. What? what are you even talking about? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not leaving anything out, and I'm not pretending to understand that. I can only say what happened to me, and that did happen to me. And then I was seized with this very intense desire to read the Bible, which I then started without any study aids or anything. I bought a Bible that didn't have any. I'm not interested in editorializing in the Bible. I just want to read it and see what's in there myself. I have very low levels of trust for Christian pastors, most of whom, I'm just not a fan at all. And sorry to say that, but that's how I feel. And so I don't want to hear other people's opinions. I just want to see what's in there. And so I spent a year and a half reading it, and then I started rereading it. And it was just a transformative experience for me, but I'm not, holding myself out as someone from whom you could get theological advice, because I'm not.
Of course.
I don't know. I don't understand any of it. But yeah, that happened.
God
to me.
allowed the demon?
I have no idea what happened. All I know is I was dead asleep with my wife and dogs, and I woke up with claw marks on my rib cage underneath my arms, and it didn't even make sense. My arms would, anyway, whatever. No one has to believe me. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
But that happened to me, and so I just was like, wow, that's real. Whatever that is, I'm even not sure what it is.
It's
but
very real. And so then that presence of that evil launches something.
So that's true. And I believe that's why evil is here. Evil is here ultimately to test us. In the end, I think it's rather simple. If you created life, if we created life, us here tonight, we reached out and we created a new life in front of us, and we were all sitting there watching it and laughing and giggling and watching and seeing how it evolves and all these things. Well, first off, we'd want to give the life free will, right? We'd want to let it choose, have the choice to choose, right? That's key. And then you want to be able to, in this duality of good and bad, you ultimately want to take the best of everything, right? That's what I would want. So what I would want is, out of all these lives we created, I would want to test it and take the best. Take the best that passed the test, that actually listened and obeyed. Anyone that listened to, if I create a life and I tell you, all right, life, I want you to live this way, and I come and I'm observing from afar, and I see that you're not, these are all things that I think mean something. I think that we're put here, we're told to live a certain way, and we are tested by the jinn. It is actually even written. I said it earlier. We wrestle not against flesh, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. When it comes to Satan Nacha, and it comes to Lucifer, and it comes to the whole hierarchy of demons, they are that. They are a hierarchy. It is very real, okay? It's very real. They got ranks. They got certain things that they're responsible for, okay? One, for instance, could be responsible for temptation and for constantly tempting you sexually. You wonder why these thoughts always come into your mind that you don't like, that you don't want to do that. I don't want to drink that beer again. Why does it keep getting pressed upon you? Because something's been given permission to do it. Believe it or not, it sure has. They're here and they're real. And see, your leaders know this. They know full well of all this. They know full well of the spiritual realm, going right back to Aleister Crowley and them tapping into it and ripping a hole open. All that's real. With Jack Parsons, the whole nine. All the tests that they did, the entities that they let enter, it is real. Okay? We are the Guardians, Lowrider. Good to see you, my brother. It's all real. And it's part of the dark magic, the dark side of this whole thing. Most people that want to do good are just missing the understanding of the fundamentals of what's happening here. But we were told we were told these things were here. We are told what they all are, okay? And where did the base of the jinn come from? The spirit of the Nephilim, of those wiped out that were doing evil. And they have names. I've got a book, a grimoire book, that lists all of it, okay? Now, you got to be a certain person out there to look into some of this stuff and to learn what it is, to learn of it and what it is, and not do it and use it. Do you understand? Because you can cast a circle and you can write the names of these demons in it and you can call upon them. But that is forbidden. You see, we're told not to do that. Okay? You're supposed to live righteously, lean on the Holy Spirit, follow the rules of the game here, not break them. Call on the Holy Spirit, fight with the spirit of the holy in you against the wickedness. That's the way out. Okay? To break it down in simple terms, the jinn are the ones tempting us, man. It's that little thought that comes into your head that tells you to do this and that. I mean, look at your Bible. It's full of all the stories where the devil himself says, let me go do this, let me go do that. And God will say, well, you can do this. God will actually allow them. You can do this. Just like in the end of prophecies, you can go and you can torment them and do all this stuff, but you can't physically harm them. Okay? You could do all these things. It's written. It's right there. It's what's happening, man. I think once you understand that, and you get a better understanding of the world that you're living in, how it operates, it becomes easier to navigate. You start to figure people out a lot better, but then you also get to see that a lot of people around you are just completely lost and oblivious to all this, but yet they're manipulated by all this, the things that you can see now. But there's something there. They know it. You think they sacrifice babies for nothing? Stop and think about it for real. You think they just do these evil things for nothing? It's not for nothing. If it was for nothing, they wouldn't be doing it. There's a gain out of it because it's real. Same reason some of these goons take and go do their bula whatever and kill a chicken in a closet. Sound crazy? It's very real. It happens every day. You get plenty of stars that do it and show it on social media and everything. Why are they doing it? Because it's magic. It's what you would call magic. All magic is tapping into the jinn. They can do anything from the other side. Pretty much, they can manipulate all types of stuff. When you strike deals with the devil, I mean, come on. But it's a dark game. It's not the good side. And I don't get this life is so quick and goes by so fast that really they get them when they're young. That's how they get them. They get them to sell their souls when they're young. And I can guarantee you, most of them regret it if they make it to an old age. Anyone that seems to wake up in the game, they murder. They sacrifice them. You understand? That's how this game goes. Anyone that wakes up and is willing to start dropping names. That's what it's all about. It's the name dropping. You can talk a game and act like you're about exposing them, but as long as you don't mention any names, you're always good to go, for the most part. Well, I think Corey Feldman's still alive and breathing. He came out and told us all, oh yeah, we were butt raped and we were abused and we were all this crap. All these guys in the game, but they turned around and said, I can't tell you the name or I'm dead. He was honest, I guess, at least about it. But a lot of people were pissed like, no, you need to say the name because those people are guilty of not only molesting you, but molesting Corey Haim, all kinds of others. And it would be doing the right thing. Some people don't want to lose their life, you know. I guess, I don't know. Some people just can't. I don't know. Put yourself in that position, what do you do? I think they all need exposed, and I think this whole thing with P. Diddy is wiping out an echelon, like a whole upper deck of people that thought that they were special. I think the club itself is culling the pack, so to speak. It is. It's the devil, in my opinion, calling up allegiance like the establishment would, and all these stars. Fresh sacrifice. And if you ain't willing to do it, you get your card pulled. You're done. You do what we say or you're done. I was trying to determine earlier if this clip I seen of J-Lo, did they just bring out J-Lo for Kamala? Did anybody see that? I'm going to watch chat. Did anybody see the clip of J-Lo sitting there crying, getting emotional? Did anybody see it? I saw it earlier. I thought that I would share it. It looks like I didn't. But I saw her earlier promoting Kamala that side at her event, and she was like in tears. In tears. Thank you, someone, for the coffees. God bless. She's in tears. Why would J-Lo Yes, okay. Yes, I'm seeing yeses. Okay, good. Other people see it. Okay. Why would she be that? Come on. Why would she be on stage in tears? All an emotional wreck. You knew it. You already know. You already know it. Who was Puffy's girlfriend during the height of all these freak-offs? J-Lo. Who just had an emergency divorce from Ben Affleck because of all the stress? J-Lo. And who's out there, can't keep it bottled up, losing it, tears coming out, trying to tell you to vote for Kamala? Hysterical. Why? She's hysterical, I'm telling you right now, because she's guilty of sin. When you look back at this, look, you know it. If Trump gets in there, like all these names, like their protective guard, so to speak, for the left is disappeared. They pardon their own and do all that. The right pardons its own. Okay? We've seen it already. Trump pardoned a ton. I don't know, man. This is here, let me show you something. Let me show you something before we get out of here. You want to know how big of demons and devils these people are? You see, some think that they're slick and they can go and they can erase their social media history. Especially all these demons that used to tweet or post on Facebook, all the way back to MySpace. Even on Twitter before Elon took it over. A lot of them thought that they could just erase everything, right? They could just erase all the things, the demonic things they said, and it was gone. Gone forever. Nope. The internet is forever. And you can way back anything that was ever on it. And when you do this, you come to find a list and a trail of all the things that Pink has deleted, Usher has deleted, John Legend has deleted, Chrissy Teigen, this demon, has deleted. Well, I'm just going to share with you here this so you can see from 2011 when Obama was in power and these demons were running, acting like, look, with horns on their head and all this stuff, these satanic demons in front of your face. She has been caught talking about being a pedo on social media over and over again, and even makes a post saying she's going to go to jail for it. She even says it over and over again. I can't recall seeing a female or star on social media saying it and doing it as much as this woman. It's scary, demonic. Okay? And the whole thing with pizzas and hot dogs, if you don't know, hot dogs are boys, pizza stands for the girls. when you read these messages and you see these messages here, it shows you the demonic. All right? Now you know. All right? When you see this, everything I've told you here tonight, keep it all in mind. Now you know. Why would she do this? People are going to say, why would they do that? They're doing it for power and to satisfy the gen.
I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Look, for you to digest all this, I'm going to have to pause this.
You wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Or just pay attention, man. Because you're going to see all these tweets just like this. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. Can you believe this? These are Chrissy Teigen's removed tweets. This is going back to 2011. You can see the dates right there on them. Dude, just wait. A little boy in the pageant now? Finally some eye candy for me. Toddlers, are you kidding me? Skinny pedos drink Pedo Light. Water slide that goes through a shark tank? F yeah, time to get my pedo on. Can you believe this? These are things that were said in the public over and over. I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star, like a trashy do-anything porn star. Is this wrong to think? I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. Can you believe? Dude, this is enough to put him away. Do you understand? I told you, Ashton Kutcher and all them that are on video, even LeBron James, ain't nothing like a Diddy party. Yeah, you better watch your... They're hanging heads. What's crazy is John Legend and Chrissy Teigen are like the highest level of they're like royalty in this evil. It's so common. When you are in the mindset that you will tweet stuff out like this over and over again, you literally must think you're untouchable. Remember, a lot of this going back to 2011 here, these tweets, Obama in power still. They're thinking our king's in there. We can do whatever we want. We do whatever we want anyway. We go to these parties. Everyone's blackmailed, so, no one's going to get busted. Wow. A belly and a shirt with a small sexy toddler on it saying #1 duh. What does a guy wear to a toddler in Tiara's party? I now know what parents go through when they are forced to tie their kids up in the basement. You have to do it, but it's icky. Am I right? You stupid. I'm going to jail over pizza. Did you see that? That's in 2013. It's actually so ridiculous that most of the plane just laughs hysterically when someone comes on with pizza. I legit feel like I will die if I don't have pizza. I want pizza. It said Brad Pitt just handed us pizza. Do you understand me? Brad Pitt. I woke up this morning with pizza on my chest and ranch dressing all over me. So if you think I'm too good for you, you are sadly mistaken. Okay? Dude. I'm not even going through all this. This is on my Twitter. You can go over and you can watch the rest of it. It speaks for itself. But they're done. All the proof is right there. They're guilty. They're her own words. Her own words. You don't think John wasn't with her? In a lot of this stuff, get out of here. They're all in on this. And that's how real the evil is. Okay? Don't ever think that, oh, maybe it's not. No, it's evil. It's evil. It's real. And it's what they worship. It's what we're up against. That's why we fight this good fight. Right? Salutes. Cody Ross says. So, yeah, a reckoning is coming. Boy, oh boy. We are in a crazy, crazy time. I feel like anything can happen at any moment. Seriously. I feel like any given moment, like any... You wake up tomorrow, and it's going to be huge bombings on some war front, and then wake up the next day, it's going to be something else, and then... I don't know. All I'm saying is head on a swivel. Y'all stay safe out there. Especially if you're going out to vote. Up to Election Day. Head on a swivel. I put nothing past them. People try to target some of these locations, as I said before. We don't want to see it, but... You know, a lot of Trump supporters standing outside somewhere. Somebody coming down the road in a van and trying to mow people down. Who knows? I'm just saying, head on a swivel. Because you know the lines are not going to be long to vote for Kamala. Don't stop praying. That's for sure. There's power in prayer. Yeah, and pray for peace. Pray for all of it. Anytime two or more come together, there's power there, and it's real. It's just as real as these Gen R and the other side. It's all real. There's a good and there's a bad. You have to believe, and you have to fight the good fight, man. You want to sit on the fence, be like, oh, I don't know, and this and that. Well, you'll stay there. I don't know. I look to advance out of this place, and I'm trying to get as many of you to be able to advance out of here as well. Jesus, Yeshua. He came and showed the way and said, look, you walk righteous, walk these ways, do these things. You could do things greater than I. He said this. A man that walked on water, raised the dead, all these amazing things. Can you imagine? He said, if you believe, you can go on to do things greater than I. But you have to have that power invested in you or the Holy Spirit. It's real, I'm telling you. Why do you think in the name of Almighty you can run demons out of people? Exorcisms wouldn't be possible. They wouldn't be real if that was the case. They are, and they work. Sometimes they're battles. But you know as well as I do, they work. I've seen them done in the flesh. And I look to conduct them in the flesh here soon. That's a whole nother thing coming. Get ready. It's time to fight fire with fire. It's time to get this holy water together and to literally start going after these demons. I love all y'all. I look to be back on Monday, God willing, for another big show. Right before it all goes down. Stay safe. Much love. God bless. If I don't see you in the flesh, I'll see you you on the other side. Big love. Thank you, dude, bro. Eon, legendary. All the best. Much love, God bless. Crown Jewels. Brother, before it's all said and done, we're getting back on another one. Annie, much love. Everybody that super chatted, everybody that bought a coffee, everybody that shared the stream, thank you. And to all my true bloods, I love you all. that.